I got a lot of hate for the rocks glass that I posted to TikTok. I thought it was really great. Apparently y'all disagreed. So I decided that I was going to remake some glass techniques for my next episode of Cake Roulette. If you don't know what Cake Roulette is, you wanna check out this first episode right here. It's hilarious. I wanted to challenge myself by remaking 3 different candles, and we're gonna turn 2 of them into cake, and one of them is going to have a surprise inside. Did you hear that? It cracked. Oh no. This is going great. So I'm gonna try one where we pour over the entire candle and try and insert the cake as the gelatin's setting. And then we're gonna try another one where we just mold the jar. Ready and go. Make sure you always spray glass or whatever with mold release, because you're like, silicone's not gonna stick to glass. It does. I don't wanna like ruin my candle. Too late. Oh, that smells so good. All right, I'm gonna use my cold spray to reset the wax. That worked out perfect. I don't know what that laugh was. All right, I'm gonna do this one first. Okay, and we're gonna pour. I'm gonna start in the middle and just have it ooze over the top. Don't forget to make a mess. Just get it over with. Just that way you don't feel bad. A little bit higher. A little bit higher. Here we go.
Why are you doing that?
Because it pops the bubbles on the way down. There's like no bubbles in there. Woot. So this should take, I'd probably give it like, what, 30 minutes? Okay, I ran out of little containers, so we're making a new one out of cardstock. Cardstock. Oh, jeez.
Sorry.
Oh my God. This is not working. Acetate to the rescue. When people are like, Liz, I just want to be in your brain. Do you? Because it's a weird place. A lot of singing. And we're taping, and we're taping, and we're taping. Ow. Yes. Oh! So, that was a good throw! I'm gonna pour some mold material in there first, let that set, then put the candle on top, and then pour around the edge so that we have the base. Let's cut this sucker open. Nice. Oh, satisfying. So I'm gonna have to do a little zigzag cut because this is like a one-piece mold, so that it'll kind of lock itself back in place whenever we close it. Why is it always something? There's a gap between the wax and the glass. So now there's a weird giblet in there. I should have like melted the top more. Oh, there are giblets in there. Come out. Okay, came out. So we basically have to make a tiny little ganached cake. Oh, I'm scared, man. I'm real scared. Okay, let me demold this one first. Let's just do one step at a time. There's no need to rush. Everything's better with a song. Satisfying. All right, same thing with this guy. We're gonna do a zigzag cut. What I think we could do is make this one isomalt.
What's isomalt?
It's the stuff that sugar-free candy is made from. It's pre-cooked, so all I have to do is melt it down. I like easy. Ooh, that's hot. I'm so hot, baby. Ow, 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 ow. And that's why we wear gloves. This has a bunch of bubbles in it, so I am gonna heat it up a little bit more. Can't have any bubbles. The TikTok people will be after me. Making glass that's edible is hard. I've done orange juice glasses, beer bottles, wine glasses, other clear things like water, ice, stuff like that. For some reason, it's a challenge. This is going great. I think it looks so bad right now. Pour it in there, roll it all around, and then pour it out so that it's a really thin layer. And then let it drain until it completely stops moving. So we have to like prop it up on some rings. I'm just gonna cut this so that it stops pulling. This is stopped dripping. It's still warm, so we can't demold it yet, but we can trim the top edge. While that cools down, I'm gonna move on to the gelatin candle. How am I going to frost a tiny cake? Okay, I'm gonna cut 2 little hockey puck. Okay, so what I think I'm gonna do is put buttercream between the 2 guys here. Not buttercream, ganache. Teeny tiny little cake. And then I think I'm gonna spread ganache on the acetate. Put this guy here. And then we'll see if this works. I feel like that's thick enough. Okay, I'm gonna put this in the freezer and then I'll frost the top. All right, this guy's done. Peel him off. That works so good. It's just extra. That's perfect. So now I'm gonna frost like the top and the bottom with the soft part. You're going back into the fridge, in the freezer, I mean. This like straw just kind of like helps you hold it so you don't have to touch the sides. Yay, that worked really well. Nice, thanks TikTok. I think this is too tall.
Yeah.
Cake surgery, Q-tip, napkin, gummy bear. We're losing her. This is a different kind of crumb coat. It's where the ganache is completely covered in crumbs. Don't have a spatula, it's fine. Just use your fingers. Okay, let's try this again. This is good now. Back into the fridge. All right, so let's make the gelatin for the gelatin camel. I'm gonna add some vanilla extract to the water because we want it to actually taste good. You could also use something like 7-Up, Powerade, other types of like juices. And we're gonna add 4.5 tablespoons of clear gelatin 300 bloom from Calgiva because it's extra, extra clear. And then we're gonna let this soak up for 5 minutes. Okay, I'm gonna melt this down for 15-second increments until it's totally melted. Then we're gonna let it sit for 10 minutes, skim off the foam, and then we'll have super clear gelatin. And then let's add a couple drops of ivory airbrush color. Okay, I'm gonna rubber band it so that it doesn't leak out. Now we're just gonna carefully pour. Here goes nothing, because I know what I'm doing. Now what's left to do is put it into the fridge and pray.
Geek gods.
Let's unmold the gelatin one. Okay. Oh no! I think it got stuck. We'll see if we can fix it. I got like a tiny bit of gelatin here. I'm gonna like see if I can do some surgery. I think that looks pretty good. What do you think?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna put that back in the fridge and let it set up, and then we'll finish it. Okay, let's carefully take the isomalt cup out. Okay, I think it's good. Look at that. Nice.
That's so cool.
So we just have to torch the bubbles and clean up the top, and then I think it'll be good. And just make the top edge all the same level. Taping on some plastic wrap just to protect the outside of the isomalt. I noticed that the bottom of this candle has like a thicker amount of isomalt, so I'm gonna pour a little bit in the bottom to hopefully emulate that, and hopefully it doesn't melt everything. We really should have did this while it was still in the container. Okay. Did you hear that? It cracked. Oh no. And now it's melting. Oh no. Cold spray! It does have one tiny little crack on the back. This is going great. Exactly the way that I wanted it to. So we want to kind of emulate this white background.
What is this tool that you're using, Liz?
Oh, this. This is my little master Clarella Cakes airbrush that I love for just like quick projects like this. You can get them on Amazon even, but they're made in the UK. I think I'm just gonna pipe some ganache like around the outside to make it look like candle. I'm just gonna smooth it out with a spatula. Now to put the secret ingredient in this one.
Liz, what are you doing?
It's cooking beef for the middle of a cake. Yummy! I'm so excited. There's like no seasoning in this whatsoever either. It's just straight up. Oh, and it's cold. Okay, so now for the top, I'm gonna just like melt down the ganache. Now I'm gonna start trying to torch the outside bubbles. Very, very light. Just a kiss. Oh, no! I think it looks so bad right now. It's like cracking a lot, and you can see the texture of the ganache in there. It's just not looking so good. And I'm just gonna spray the whole thing. I feel pretty frustrated because it just did not turn out anything like how I wanted it to. All I'm thinking is, how can I save this? How can I make it still work without having to completely redo it? So even though our original candle was white, I mean, just go with it, right? All right, I'm gonna make a little wick out of some wafer paper. Erin actually is teaching me this. I'm gonna stop pretending like I knew how to do it. I'm just gonna kind of roll it and twist it.
Pop it.
So you get it all wet. Oh, okay, let me do a little front roll, back rolls action. That looks really real. So we're just coating the little piece of wax paper in some cocoa butter to give it that waxy look. Yeah, and it also like makes it stiffen up for sure. We're 5-year-olds. And then just for extra realism, we're gonna torch it a little bit. Now, for the wax, I have some melted coconut oil. This actually says cream of coconut, but when it hardens up, it kind of has that transparent wax look because it's basically wax. But edible, right? And I'm gonna stick the wick right in there. Cute! Okay, this guy's done. Let's check the other guy. I'm just plugging up the holes so that the wax doesn't go into the meat. All right, pouring the wax or the coconut oil. All right, I'm gonna brush my candle here with a little bit of bronze luster dust to just kind of make it a little bit more shiny. Kind of like what we did with the cat food cans. I admit this was much more challenging than I was expecting. If I had to remake these candle cakes again, I definitely would just use the gelatin. I felt like even though it tore, it looked much better and was much shinier and looked more like glass than the isomalt. But I definitely learned a lot about what to do better in the next candle or glass item that I make. So, you know, there's always stuff to learn. I'm not saying it's perfect, but will it be good enough to fool my 3 friends? You're gonna have to find out on the next episode of Cake Roulette. And if you missed the last episode, you can watch it right here.